Hi guys, Firmbie with you for episode 16 of 15-Minute Makeover, a series where we grab a car out of Car Mechanic 2015 and see if we can fix him up within 15 minutes. Now today we actually got the Sakura GT20. Let's see if we can fix him up. As you can see, the garage is getting full once again with quite a few repairs that we've got to knock off, but let's concentrate on the Sakura of the GT20 at this stage, and I'll just make the screen a little bit bigger, and I say that as if you can actually see what I'm doing on the screen. You'll have to excuse me guys, I've just come off of a 12-hour night shift, so the old brain's perhaps not as in tune as it should normally be, but I just wanted to get this audio down for you and get it out as quickly as I can. So if the tongue and the brain aren't working together very well this morning, well, you'll know why. But as I said, we are in Car Mechanic 2015. We are in a 15-minute makeover, and if you have seen the last few episodes, guys, we're actually getting these episodes well and truly under the 15-minute mark. So it's always good to see that we don't go over time too much. Actually, in the background there, it looks like another Bolt Reptilia. If memory serves me, memory serves me correctly, we actually did the Bolt Reptilia last build. We did the brakes and the exhaust and the gearbox on the last one. So yeah, we've got another Bolt coming up in the next few repairs. So yeah, look out for that. But anyway, let's get back to the GT20. Now, as you can see at the start of the clip here, we actually got running gear problems and a sloppy car steering. So the running gear problems should be fairly evident when we start diving into it. Excuse me. Things like inner and outer tie rods, steering racks, those sort of parts would come under that. As you can see, this back axle assembly will need to come out completely as well. That would fall under the sloppy car steering section. Just see that these leaf spring U-bolts, leaf spring, shockeys, springs, all that's got to come out. Also, this rear axle's also got to come out as well. So we're just spinning around to the other side here, just so we can get those same components off this other side. All this brake system will be fine, but obviously we'll just need to take all that off so we can get that rear axle off. So we'll rip that out fairly quickly. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, as I've mentioned previously. Just whack in a subscription if you like to see more future content for Car Mechanic 2015. If there's anything in particular that you want to see, just post it in the comments section below. If there's any questions you might have in the build that you're doing, or you're getting stuck on a build that you're doing, yeah, just whack those in the comments. So we'll just get that drive shaft out, and we're able to get that rear axle out once that drive shaft's out. Actually, that looks like a Katsumoto up on that hoist on the other side there too. So we haven't done a Katsumoto for... Actually, I don't think we've done one yet. But anyway, it looks like we found all our parts that we're going to need that need repairing up. So we'll just go over to a repair table and repair those up. As I said, the 64% is our magic number today, so we don't need to repair anything above and beyond that. Anything that doesn't repair up, then we'll just go into our shop and purchase brand new parts. Once again, just using our tablet, far easier than walking over to the computer. I don't know, call me lazy, call it efficiency, call it whatever you want, but yeah, I just think it's a lot. You just press T, as you can see, tablet comes up, you're straight into the shop. And let's see what we're actually going to need here. We're looking for shockeys. So which shockeys do we need? A couple of those. Let's get rid of those out of the inventory. Like so. Okay, there's another one down there. There we go. Yes, as I said, we do have another Bolt Reptilia coming up. in a couple of builds time. This is before actually first couple of builds I ever did, actually, if memory serves me correctly, was actually on the Bolt Reptilia. So I have got a bit of a soft spot for it. I don't know why. There is actually quite a few other cars that actually look a lot better in the game, but yeah, I don't know. Perhaps it's just the fact that it's convertible. But anyway, let's get back to this build. Let's get some of these parts out of the inventory, clean that up a little bit. Let's see what else we actually need to purchase for the 64%. Spring plate and a couple of U-bolts as well. Let's go get rid of those U-bolts that we don't need anymore. That spring plate can go as well. I think rubber bushes is the only one left. I think that normally we need to purchase quite a lot of these, but in this particular build it's only just the one large one. Well, we'll call it the large one because the other one's actually called small, strangely enough. So let's have a look at all parts, and the lowest one is in fact 65%, so obviously that's over at 64, so we're now in a position to actually get these parts straight back in. So it looks as though this particular build may be a fairly short, sharp and shiny one as well. We should be able to well and truly get under our 15-minute time that we set ourselves every day. So let's just get those wheels back on there, guys. Excuse me if I keep clearing my throat. As I said before, I've actually had the man flu for the best part of a week now, so I am getting over it, and thankfully got my voice back. But still, every now and again, you get a bit of the old frog in the throat and get a dry throat, but we do have to power on and push through it. Coming into the rear of the car now, let's get that rear axle on, the drive shaft and those rear components back on as well. The last of the nuts being tightened up on that drive shaft, like so, and we should be able to start, there we go, start getting these shockies, spring cap, spring in there. We just need to back up a little bit just so we can get the rear axle on. Rear axle, let's go with the spring plate and those leaf spring bolts there. Going in fairly quickly, as you can see. It's as it wasn't a very extensive build, so be a fairly quick one, as I mentioned. Brake discs, brake pads and calipers straight over the top of those. All these were fine, so we didn't have to do any repairs to any of those brake systems. As I said, unlike the last repair, it was predominantly brakes and exhausts and the gearbox, I think. I think the old memory's failing me a little bit. Oops. Oh, perhaps we didn't purchase enough of those. Was it a rear spring? Spring, let's find that rear spring, there we go. And that's easy enough done too. Perhaps I bought too many front springs and not enough rear springs. That's what happens perhaps sometimes when you try to do repairs, when you're overtired and buy too many of one thing and not of another. But you know, as I said, it happens. You just throw away the part that you don't need and go and buy another one. But let's get those brake components on now, the brake discs and again the brake calipers over the top of that, with the tyre obviously being able to be put on once those brake components are in. Yeah, and that's what I thought. Yeah, I bought front springs instead of rear springs, so I'll be able to throw those out at a later date. So yeah, don't need those front springs. So I've already put those front springs in. Actually, I don't think I even needed them. Anyway, we'll either keep those or throw them out at a later date. So let's see what we have here. And it looks like we've got green lights across the board there. So It's fairly good, easy job. So what do we have? 64% was our magic number there. 1,862 completing, and job was 931, which is a total earn of 3,724. Alright guys, thank you very much for your company once again, and I'll look forward to it next time.